Hi, mamas, and welcome back to 5-minute self-care resets, where we're going to give you, of course, lots of bite-sized little things for the next couple of days. And today is all about the midday pause. So this is really all about that like slump in the middle of the day where I feel really exhausting or really exhausted. And we're having a hard time getting over that slump, and you feel really like, oh man, I really need a coffee right now, or I need something like a pick-me-up, right? Or really need a nap. So as a mom, there's just a lot of stuff that is going on all the time, and we have our attention and energy dispersed out all over the place, right? So with this is all about regathering your energy and giving yourself some energizing practices to be able to get you through that without having to go reach for another coffee or something like that, right? So there's a couple of caveats. There's two things I want to talk about a couple things I want to talk about really quickly before we really get into this. And if you read through the email, they're kind of in there. But the first thing is that if you are really crashing in the middle of the day, and especially like once you're not to invalidate this part of the experience, but obviously we know that if we have a newborn or a young one that's waking us up constantly, we're gonna be tired, right? That just makes sense, right? But it shouldn't extend for long periods of time, right? Once the baby's sleeping through the night, we should be able to start sleeping through the night again as our brain starts to settle down and gets ready for that next part of like mothering, right? And of course, these transitions take time. So first off, caveat, like if you have a newborn, get as much sleep as possible. You need the sleep. And I know how difficult it is when in our culture, where we don't have a lot of support around us. So not to invalidate that experience at all. I'll give you another practice. Actually, if you had continue through this, I have another video and another resource for you inside my membership called Self-Care on Tap. So we'll talk about that later. But first, I just want to give you this perfect, beautiful, energizing practice for the middle of your day. So what we want to do is there's a couple of things here. We want to get up, we want to get moving. That's really important. So going outside for a quick walk, even if it's literally up and down the street or up and down a building or whatever, that can be super helpful, right? Get outside, get some sun on your body. Not a lot. If you do too much, it'll be sleepy. But if you go outside and you just pump your blood a little bit, that helps wake you up. If you don't have access to going outside because number one, it's freezing cold out, or you're stuck in an office or whatever the thing is, right? If you get up and you move, that helps pump your lymph. It helps boost your heart rate, all that kind of stuff. So for this one, I'm going to show you it's literally shake it to wake it. Okay. So in this, even if you're just sitting, if you just you start with your arms and your feet and you just bounce up and down, right? And you shake your shoulders and you shake your head and your hips and your legs and all of that kind of stuff. And you bounce up and down. That can be super helpful. So let me see if I can get this in the video frame. Okay, here we go. Okay, so just bouncing up and down for a few minutes, taking in big breaths. And you can intuitively move if you want to. You can bring your arms up over your head, which is fantastic. And this, number one, is energizing, but it also helps move emotion and things out of your system. So if you're really stressed out and you're feeling like, bleh, this can be such a huge help for those moments. So moving your body. And one of my favorite things to do, I'm going to give you a bonus today, is I start with, it's just an energy release, right? So shake your hands, shake your arms, shake your feet and your hips, and shake your shoulders and your body all the way up to your head. And when you get up to the top, and then just kind of hang here. Allow like your feet to go a little bit wider. You can swing back and forth. You can spend some time literally just going, and then when you're ready, you can slowly roll up. So those two practices together help wake up your body. Like, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling energized. But if you still need a little boost and that did a little bit, that gave you a little bit of a bump, great. If you change your breathing and you do a couple of different postures, that can be another really helpful one. So if you do a back bend, back bends raise your heart rate a little bit, and taking a few deep breaths in. That also helps to energize yourself. But a couple of things that I want to give you a caveat on there is you don't want to hyperventilate, obviously. And if you are carrying people like babies, please don't practice big, huge breath work like that. That can be a problem here. So we don't want to do that. And then, sorry, I'm going to even you out here again. Okay. So practicing breath work is really important to do it safely. If you're doing a lot of big breathing, you can hyperventilate, that can cause you to be woozy. So just if you start to feel yourself feeling woozy, just take a break, take a breath in, hold it for a second, and then exhale nice and slow. And then that'll help start bringing you back into a normal space. If you have issues with like balance and getting woozy and dizzy and that kind of stuff, there are other things that I would say to look into, but for now, just moving your body, shaking it, and getting that energy going can be really helpful for getting you through that midday slump. So that's the big practice for today. I also really want to remind you to eat. We don't nourish ourselves often enough, and we can't run off of nothing. And I understand how difficult that can be. So in the beginning, when you're getting used to doing all these things for yourself, right? What I want you to do is just keep it really, really simple, right? Super simple. So that may mean you buy a bunch of like little meat sticks and you take them in your purse with you wherever you go, right? Or some high protein granola bar thing, something like that, right? You want to get about 20 grams of protein in your body at a regular interval throughout the day. And your breakfast should be on a higher side, so around 30 grams of protein. And really seriously, that's such a huge shift in your energy. It'll make a huge, huge difference for you if you are getting high levels of protein into your system on a regular basis. So, of course, there's always caveats to everything everybody says. So do what feels right for your body, but definitely make sure that you're eating enough. Okay. So that's a huge reason why we get a slump in the middle of the day as well. And on top of the chronic stress that we have, oftentimes our cortisol dips in the middle of the day. And so it can be really difficult to make it through, right? Without trying to get another caffeine drink or something like that. So I'm leaving you with that. We can dive more into that in much more depth, and we will inside of the Self-Care on Tap. So keep an eye out for more information on that if you're interested in continuing these beautiful practices. And then I will see you tomorrow. So have a good one.